Okay, guys, hello, welcome back to the Roots of Wellness podcast. Today I am sitting down with Daria, who is one of my teachers here at the 200-hour course. We're going to be talking about spirituality, how to live a happier, more intentional life. Daria, would you introduce yourself, what you do, what you teach, what you do here?
Of course. So I'm a yoga teacher, basically, as we have learned that we are not identifying ourselves with I am this or I am that, but when we're talking occupationally wise, I work as a yoga teacher. I'm also DJing part-time when I have an opportunity, when I have time for this. And I generally, I think that life enjoyer most of the time.
So cool. I love the DJing thing. I saw on your story yesterday.
Yes,
So
yes,
cool.
that's a big part actually of my life. But
Mm.
music is a big
Yeah.
part of my life. Not only DJing, but sounds, music, something that I relate a lot to.
I'm curious, what was your journey to get to where you are today and becoming a yoga teacher? Because you used to study law, or
Yes,
yes.
yes. I literally dedicated a little bit more than 7 years of my life to law. I was studying law at in Kazakhstan, where I was born, and I did 5 years there. Then I moved to Europe and I started to do my master's in human rights, and I loved it. I really enjoyed it. It was something that called me because the purpose behind of it all was to help. So I thought that law is somewhere where I can actually help. That was my motive. I wanted to be of help to people, of service to people. In Europe, I started to do my master in human rights, and I started to work in human rights as well. And everything was good. There was no complaints, so to say. Out of a sudden, somehow, meditation came to my life. So there was one occasion when I got to experience a very short guided meditation. But it was like so profound to me that I couldn't imagine that one evening in my life can just uh, basically pave a way for an incredible changes in my life. I didn't know this and I didn't feel it like this. I became so curious what was the experience about. How was I? How was it possible to experience this? Because I remember that first my imagination was very vivid in during the guided meditation, but not only this, it was the feeling of such a deep sense of peace within me. It was so calm, so peaceful, that when I came back, I could truly understand. Came back. I mean, when when the meditation finished, I could truly feel what is the difference between my everyday life and the way I approach my life and the way I felt during the meditation. Because the contrast was so big that I could really see what it is. And of course, I couldn't understand what it is. There was nothing in my life, no spirituality in my life, no religion in my life. I was agnostic. I was not. I was rejecting basically all the religions. But I knew I had a certain belief, but not specific. I had no background of meditation, no background of yoga, absolutely nothing. But the interest was, the curiosity was so big that I started to explore it. I started to learn more about this. I have no idea how it was even in my consciousness, but in my room where I used to live in Europe, it was like more a room space. I dedicated a separate corner where I put like a cushion. I bought some candles. I needed to know like how can I be more present into this what I have experienced. So I started to meditate, and experiences, one was not the same as another, but they were very powerful for me, which keep bringing the curiosity out. With curiosity, the life started to change as well. I started to change my habits. I started to look at different life situations differently as well, and more awareness started to come. I understand that something is happening, like I clearly can see that, but not understanding what exactly. While I'm starting to explore, this is where yoga starts to come, because when I explore, I learned that yoga, meditation is part of yoga, and actually practice of yoga can help me to enhance my meditation. So I had this motivation, because I was like, wow, I can experience something more than I'm experiencing at this moment. So I started to practice. I didn't go anywhere. I was just watching YouTube videos, and I was doing some asanas, and I felt it. I felt how the stillness in the mind reflects on the stillness in the body, how it all interconnected between each other. So I was doing my researches. I started to practice, and imagine, I think that first time in my life, uh, yoga, the practice, was the only thing that was consistently with me. So many things were coming, going all the time. My practice was consistent with me. I got hooked on it immediately from the first moment that I have experienced it. Now the shift starting to come to my workplace, to what I do. And my sister had a very big role in all this picture, because I started to feel that I still love my job, and I was in a good position. I was working well. I was basically earning as well, and I could afford myself to live in Europe and just live good. But I started to feel that the interest that I have towards yoga and spirituality and the energy and everything that behind of this has become so big that I was not in control of it anymore. All my time I spent only on this. And I remember this conversation with my sister, that she told me, like, I don't know what are your thoughts on it, but I definitely think that you should do something about this, because you are fully into it. And she told me that I've never seen anyone as much dedicated as you are towards your practice. So I think you should do something about this. Mentally, I start to prepare myself that the change can come, and I start to feel the change. I started to feel that it is coming. And yeah, I just decided that I don't want to be involved in law anymore. I really wanted to learn more about yoga and understand how can I deliver to others what I could deliver to myself. But I understood that what I do in law and the help that I can do in law will be so much less than what I can do from what I have truly experienced. My decision was firm. I understood, of course, that this is 8 years of my life, that I am living in Europe, that I have no idea what is going to be there, what am I going to explore. So if we think about it, it's huge. Many people told me that, Daria, like, it's a really, really important decision in life that you are making. But for me, I didn't feel like this. I felt so aligned within me, without understanding what word aligned means back then. But I felt like this. For me, I was certain. I was 100% certain, and I didn't care of how it's going to end up. What I cared about is that I actually explored.
Did you feel any guilt or anything towards yourself doing that for 8 years of your life and then having to leave that? I don't know. I think I just am an indecisive person. So having to make a huge decision, I would feel like I was obliged to stay in my past or obliged to carry out what I started, sort of thing.
Short moment of this was there. But then I realized everything that has happened during those 8 years of my life has shaped me into who am I. This experience came to my life only because I was in law, because I was living at this country at this moment. This experience came only because of this. So I understood, I felt this sense of that it was meant to be so. I couldn't do it otherwise. I couldn't come to where I am today if not these experiences. And I'm up till today, I'm so grateful for those 8 years. And the experience was not easy. Like, I remember my studying years, I was not sleeping, I was not eating, I was just the time was so intense for me. I dedicated a lot of energy into it, but it shaped me so much into who am I. The people I've met during this time, they are still such an important part of my life, and I carry it dearly in my heart. So I didn't felt guilt for it. And also, I felt like if at any point of time I want to come back to it, I can do this. There is no problem with this. I can come back. Maybe I would need to start from somewhere in the middle, but it's totally fine. I'm not in a rush.
What was your meditation practice then, and how has it sort of changed to now?
It changed so much.
Yeah.
It's actually changed so much. When I just started, it was guided meditations. It was guided meditations, and I was basically listening to someone guiding me into the states of meditation, and I used so many different kind of meditation. The first one that I actually did and that changed my life was guided meditation on chakras, uh, and um, and that's why when I teach, usually when I introduce meditation, I start with the chakra meditation. And imagine, like, I didn't know what chakras are. I had zero clue about all of this, but the effect was so powerful of it. I used different meditations on gratitude, which also changed my life so much. I remember that in the times of the struggle, because I mean, I was still living a human life. I was going through some relationships, some issues at work as well, some issues with friends, some things there. And I remember how gratitude was transforming it all the time, transformation after transformation with gratitude meditation. Today, my meditations look a little bit different. It's mostly silent, it's observational, and understanding that meditation is anything, absolutely anything. I can be here with you now at this moment, and I can be so in our conversation, being 100% with you at this moment, that it will become a meditative process. So meditation just changed the concept from me sitting listening to someone to a much broader sense of generally meditative state. Is the state of meditativeness when we are capable to be calm, focused, uh, relaxed, yet alert as well. This is how it changed. Yes, yet I still love guided meditations. I'm still using. There is an incredible app which up till today inspires me a lot, and I'm having my own plans on how I see that, which is probably another
To make an app? Oh my god, I'd buy the Daria app any second.
The app is named Insight Timer. I don't know if you called about this, but I really recommend this app. I'm still just fascinated by how they created this, and they have so many different meditations there. I think deepest states of meditations that I get at till today is music. Whenever I play this hour that I play music, that I listen to music, is 100% there. There is nothing in my head. It's only a sound that is happening at this moment.
Thinking about this change that you made in your life, and it sort of sounds like you were able to take that transition from law and from studying and from a very high pressure environment to yoga and meditation and teaching that because you weren't attached to your identity as a lawyer. We talked a lot about identification and attachment being the root of suffering. Could you talk a little bit about what that means and how does attachment cause suffering, and what happens if we attach our identity to our career or to our relationship or to our friendships?
Of course, of course. So when we were talking about Kleshas, when we were talking about the obstacles to our spiritual liberation, basically Kleshas are the sufferings. The first one of them is avidya, which is ignorance. And avidya is ignorance of when we mistake something that is impermanent for permanent. This is one of the biggest ignorance that we have, that we think that things in our life, things, it can be status, it can be profession, it can be any material thing. We think that when it's with us, that it's going to stay, it's permanent, especially when we like it. Yet the nature of life, the only permanence in our life is impermanence. Things are in nature impermanent. Anything that we have is going to change, is going to transform. Not necessarily that it's going to go completely, but it's not staying the same. So us being attached to, I am a yoga teacher, okay? And now I'm getting so identified with this because the attachment leads me to identification. Whenever I go somewhere and I start to present myself, I'm saying I am a yoga teacher. I'm talking to my friends, I'm introducing myself. I don't know, I like a guy, and I start to talk to him. And because this identification is very strong, I start to say I am a yoga teacher. Yes, I've been teaching for this or this amount of years already. But the thing is that at one point of my life, and I don't know when this point is going to come, I will not be a yoga teacher. And things can transform. I can change from I don't know, I can come back to law. I cannot even deny this, that this can happen in my life as well, because of the change in life. This can also be. So I am not saying no to this. And when this will change, and when the change but if the change is forced by other circumstances, my injury, or I don't know, the work, the school has shut down, or I need now to be a full-time mother, or whatever it is, when this role is not even me anymore, the lack, the death of this role will cause me so much suffering, because I used to think that this is who I am. Now that this is not there, what do I feel? I feel like I am no one. I feel emptiness. I feel like, what did I do in my life? What did I do this for? And now I'm no one. So, according to Patanjali, who is a father of yoga, as we have talked about this, he has explained that this is the greatest suffering that we have in life. And what is important here is just to remember that whatsoever roles we have in our life, nothing wrong with roles. It's good that we have roles in life, yet it is important to remember that we are much more than those roles that we have in our life. So, yes, I am a yoga teacher. Yes, I am a DJ. Yes, I am a sister. I am a daughter. I am a friend. 100% I am. I'm not rejecting any of those. Yet, the essence of me is so much bigger, is so much more important than all the other identities that I hold. So whenever something is going to go, I'm not saying that it's not going to hurt me, or it's not something that is not going to challenge me emotionally. It's still there. We're humans at the end of the day. Yet, I'm going to be able to maintain the centeredness with the realization that what has happened to me, it's a nature of life, which is impermanence, and I'm not identified with this. And this can help us greatly. Any identification, we need to think about this, that it's not gonna stay. Like sometimes I hear from my students that they say, you're very pessimistic about relationship, like why relationship cannot last. And I am not. Like, I truly believe in love. I believe that people can stay long with each other. This is something that I also believe. Yet, if it is not that the life circumstances is going to separate us, it's the death that is going to separate us at certain moment of life, which is also going to take the identity from me. The status is going to change, and I cannot control it. This is something that is out of my control.
Has there been an experience in your life where you've had to overcome an attachment to something?
Yeah, well, just an example that I have shared a little bit is about me and coffee, and was a really huge thing for me, and I'm speaking it from my heart. Everyone who knows me knows how huge it was in my life. The thing is that I was not questioning my attachment to coffee for all those years. Yet, I think, I don't know, since the age of 16, 17, coffee was always with me, always. And I'm 28 at this moment. It's been 8 months that I'm not drinking coffee, but all those years, coffee was so strongly with me. And I couldn't understand that I am attached to it. But now that I look back at the patterns that I had, attachment is so obvious. I couldn't start my day without it. The day couldn't possibly be started without this. I needed that. When yoga came, slight change happened. First was meditation, then was my practice, then shower, and then I can take coffee. But before that, open my eyes, brush my teeth, and first thing we make coffee. That was my life for many, many years. And then I started to realize that the day is not starting well. My mood is changing. That was a huge sign for me, because one situation was in my life, I couldn't get coffee. I couldn't get it because it was in India, and there was just nowhere I could go to get coffee at this moment. And I remember that I really felt down, like, and I realized that how this is possible, that something that is outside of me, external, not within me, can influence me this much. And then I'm very grateful for one person in my life. He came to me and we spent some time together, and he showed me this. He showed me, Daria, you are obviously attached to it. Try to go without it. And he was very kind, and and I believe that this is the best approach to attachment, with kindness and with the approach of experiment. Because what he told me with so much love and kindness, he told me, try to see how you can go without this. Give yourself a few days of how you can go without this. And because he approached it like this, and my understanding that coffee is controlling me, really, is in full control of me, I'm not control of it. It takes a control. And I decided to check how it is going. And I remember that maybe 2 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, it was a long time for me, as it lasted so long. At least as I felt it was so long.
Yeah, 3 weeks is a long time.
Yeah. I felt like, first of all, I was sleepy. I felt like this active energy is a little bit more down. I had crazy headaches, which I never had in my life. So basically, withdrawal symptoms that I had from coffee. But all of those symptoms made me realize that this is what coffee is doing to me at this moment. So it motivated me so much to stay and to see how I can continue doing with this. I had a very strong headaches. So what I had to do, I had to take tea. I had black tea, but I didn't care about caffeine, that much caffeine. The fact that there is caffeine and the black tea was not bothering me. It was not about the caffeine. It was, for me, it was specifically about coffee. So I started to drink tea, and it helped me with the headaches a little bit. And now I can go without tea as well. Now I can be without coffee and without tea. And the feeling when you let go of attachment, it feels liberating. It feels like, really, I can wake up, I don't need this, I can drink it, I cannot drink this, I can drink water, I can drink green tea or just some herbal tea, and I will be super fine without this. I don't need to base decision of where I go in the which cafe I go based on the rating of the coffee there. So I basically can follow my friends wherever they want to go, and I will not be dependent on it. This brought me an understanding that this approach I can have to anything. This was a huge example for me, an exercise of how to let go of attachments. And once you realize that detachment brings you freedom, brings you joy, now coffee is not a necessity, yet if I have it, I will enjoy it so much, the next day I don't need it. So this brings so much freedom to you. And in one case, it is coffee. It is something that I consume, but it can be also relationships. It can be relationships when we become too attached. There is so much pain that comes with this, and this is undeniable. No one can deny this. If I ask you, have you experienced pain in your relationship? Most probably you would say yes, because this is what happens with attachment towards it. And it's so difficult with relationships to practice detachment. Detachment does not make you numb. Detachment does not make you not love a person or not love a thing. You can be 100% there. You can love so much, yet because you understand that the nature of life is impermanence, it allows you to practice detachment. And detachment, when things are great, when things are good, it allows you to be grateful for it, because you know that they are not lasting. At the same time, when things are unpleasant, it gives you hope, because once again, things are not staying. This too shall pass. This gives you so much freedom. I think that the good word to describe this is freedom.
I feel like that's so powerful, because some people might relate and might have the same experience with coffee or with food or something the same, but it like relates to anything. Some people spend their entire lives battling with attachments and can never overcome that. And it's amazing how much determination and discipline it must have taken you to set your mind to reaching a state of detachment with coffee. What sort of advice would you give to someone who is really struggling to learn how to detach, and they'll detach from it, but then they feel guilty for desiring it, and then they feel like a bad person, or they feel like they can't control what they want. I don't know, is there like daily ways that you can practice detachment in your daily life to build up the strength to let go of the big things?
I think that if we are talking about approach, how to take it, approach is kindness and compassion to yourself. Remembering that when we are working with attachment and then attachment didn't work, I'm still attached, remember to be kind to yourself. Remember to say, yes, it's something strong in my life and it takes time for it. So approach, this is so important. And I believe that everything in life, whether attachment, anything that we are trying to work with, has to be done with kindness and compassion to ourselves, because with kindness and compassion, we decrease, first of all, the level of importance. We understand that it's in human nature to go through those things. And remember that once I'm kind to myself, I also learn to be kind to others. And then it's just a reciprocity, is just starting to be in your consciousness. If we will talk about more of a practical approaches, I would say that it's slowing down and being more mindful. So the moment when you want to do something, when you want to have this coffee, or you want to have this cake, or you want to call this person, or whatever it is, it's just give yourself 2 minutes, or give yourself a little bit more than 2 minutes, depending on how much time you have, and just breathe into it. See where it is coming from. Can I wait a little bit, or is it something that is urgent? So mindfulness, from the compulsiveness, from the action of I want this is my desire, I need this right now. Mindfulness and just breathing a little bit allows us to shift from the state of compulsiveness to the state where I can act on it consciously, when I am the one who is making choices, not my desires who make choices. And this is a huge shift, and it all takes practice. We can think about smoking, for example, as well. I used to smoke before yoga came to my life, and when yoga came to my life, this also has started to change. And I remember that I realized that I don't need this, because it does not allow me to practice as much as I want. My breathing might not be so good, and I quit. And the interesting thing, that in my life before yoga, I thought that I will never quit. I thought that how can I quit? First of all, I enjoyed so much. Third, I just don't see a point of quitting it. That was truly what I thought about. Then I remember what helped me so much is that whenever the urge to smoke was there, I remember that I was just sitting, I was closing my eyes, and I was just breathing. I was filling up my lungs as much as I can, because I felt this sensation of urge coming from my lungs. So I was breathing into this part of my body. And I remember, imagine that this urge was there. The moment I breathe into it, 2 minutes I breathe into it, it's gone. The urge is not there anymore. The urge is going to come after some time once again. I breathe into it, it's gone. So it's just what I was trying to do, and it also became a sort of a practice that I was doing. And I shared that recently with my friends who struggle to quit, and I shared it with him, and he told me that it works amazingly. He reduced the amount of cigarettes that he smoked a day. He didn't quit completely, but he reduced the amount of smoking, because it helps. So the mindful approach towards the things, it's really helpful. Because all the desires, they're compulsive, they come in the nature of compulsiveness, but when we bring conscious awareness into it, it ceases to be compulsive. It becomes a choice-based action.
That is such a powerful tool. I
Yeah.
really like resonate with that, because I feel like I can tend to get really obsessed with things, or so I
Mm-hmm.
yeah, really appreciate it. Thank you for sharing. Last question, just a quick answer, is what do you think the roots of a happy, peaceful life are? Whether it's a practice or a habit that someone can add into their life to feel more alive and feel more purposeful. If you had to say one thing, I know it's a big question. Maybe just one change someone can make today to start just feeling better or start feeling happier in their life. No pressure.
Yeah, I think connection is what makes it joyful. Exactly. The moment, because connection does not come only from meditation. Connection to myself, listening to myself, allows me to also listen to others. Connection to myself allows me to notice things around me, and this what brings me joy, because in this noticing, in this connection, I feel like there is something, there is truth, something that is kind, something that is love, something that is beauty. It's all in this connection. So I say, whatever approach you have in order to connect to yourself, connect to it as much as it's possible, whatever it is for you. You like to, you relate it to meditation, meditate. You feel the most joyful when you talk to people, communicate to people, do this. You feel joyful, connected when you dance, do this. So basically, whatever brings you connection. We cannot be all artists, we cannot be all yogis. It's just the universe will be too boring if that would be the case. But the connection is for everyone there. Absolutely, I have no doubt about this. So find what brings you connection towards yourself. Yeah,
That was a great on the spot answer. Well, thank you so, so much. I'm really grateful that you had the time to sit down today, and I hope that everybody learned something new today. And yeah, thank you so much, Daria. You have so much wisdom, and I wish I could listen to you talk all day. So I'm going to miss you after we go home.
I will miss you so much, Georgie. Thank you for this beautiful opportunity. I feel a strong, strong connection at this moment as
Thank
well.
you,
So I'm
too.
very grateful. Moments like this, you know, when I have emotions, when I have some tears in my eyes, just for the sake of speaking the truth, connecting to each other, sharing with others, it's something so pure and so beautiful. So thank you for this beautiful
Thank
opportunity.
you. It's hard. I'm like about to cry, but there's like a skeleton at the back sitting behind you.
In Padmasana,
Yeah.
in lotus pose.
Oh, okay, we'll finish off there, but have a great day, everybody.
Have a great day.
Break the fourth wall. Bye.